Hey friends, I'm so excited to have you in the kitchen with me today. I'm going to be whipping up one of my family's favorite main dishes. Barbecue meatballs. Everything's from scratch and I can't wait to show you our version of our favorite recipe. This is a recipe that many times I take along with me to any of our family gatherings. Today's video is my entry to the Odd Holiday Meal collaboration, where there's several of us YouTube channels getting together and showing you some recipes that you can use that aren't the traditional holiday meals. Make sure that you go check out the playlist over at Heavenly Hills Homestead or Kettle Kitchen. They're our hosts. And be sure to like and comment on all the videos so that you have chances to win. Go to Tony Kettle Kitchen's channel on the 27th to participate in his live giveaway. If you didn't know, the farmer is a little bit of a picky meat eater. Okay, I am too. So he doesn't eat any sort of bird. He doesn't eat turkey or chicken or etc. He kind of has an allergic reaction to it. So he is mostly a beef eater. He eats pork, bacon, and that's about it. No ham or anything like that. And when we first got married, it was only hamburger stuff. He will eat a steak and occasionally a roast now. But tacos are probably his favorite. And anything with ground beef, I can usually count on him enjoying. So barbecue meatballs is one that I have been making for many, many years. The recipe that I'm using today comes out of none other but the old church cookbook. You know, those church cookbooks, they are ones that you can count on good recipes almost every single time. We'll start out with pounds of fresh hamburger. This is meat that I myself grew. I'm very proud of this. You can see by the color it is fresh. And it was from a healthy cow. So we've got our 3 pounds of hamburger. To that, we're going to add 2 cups of oatmeal. You know, I always wondered about this. It doesn't specify in the recipe whether to use quick oats, old-fashioned oats, or anything of the like. So I use whatever I have on hand. And these happen to be the old-fashioned type today. We also need to have a can of evaporated milk, which I have substituted fresh milk because I have my own dairy goats and dairy cows. But I happen to have evaporated milk, and we're just now kind of getting into our dairy lactation with the cows. And so I thought maybe I would go ahead and just use this up because it is a little bit older because I usually use fresh milk, and so, you know, we need to get this used up. To this, we are going to add eggs, and I forgot those in the fridge. I'll be right. The eggs I'm using today are duck eggs. You'll see me use those a lot, especially in baking, but I thought, you know, I like a nice big egg. Egg is what we use for binding, and so I want to make sure I have a big enough egg. I could have used even 3 chicken eggs if I'd wanted to. We'll need a teaspoon of salt. And then a half a teaspoon each of chili powder. And garlic powder. Sometimes I use a little extra. You know, I like seasoning. And then here I have already chopped up 1 onion. You can use whatever kind of onion you want. I typically use a white or a yellow onion. And then, with nice, good, clean hands, we're going to get in here and we're going to mix this up. You can use a spatula or a spoon if you want. But you know what? I have found that just when it comes to meatballs and meatloaf, if you just get in there with your hands and you work this, it will combine so much better. Something about using a spoon, it seems like you just can't get in there and mash it and get it all mixed up. I would suggest if you do use a spoon, go ahead and, you know, whisk your egg a little bit because it's harder to get that yolk broke sometimes. Okay. So now that I feel that, now I want you to notice, see how nice, what size of chunks of onions I made. I did that on purpose. We like a bit of bite of onion in our meatballs, but you can absolutely cut it to whatever size you want. All right, now that this is incorporated, I gotta go back to the sink and clean up. So I've got myself a very large, well, basically this is a cake pan that can fit, I believe, up to 3 cakes in here. And typically I don't, when I make this recipe, I just spray the pan. I don't put any parchment down. This is actually some air fryer sheets. If I was in the downstairs kitchen, I would have grabbed full sheet and stuck on the bottom here just to kind of protect it because it is kind of a special pan to me. But it will hold, I believe. I'm hoping it'll hold all these meatballs because 3 pounds is a lot of meat. I've got a medium-sized scoop, and I don't roll out each individual ball. I just do the scoops, and I find they work perfectly fine. Now, if you want it to look nicer, you're going to be better off to go ahead and put this in your hand and roll each one of these into a ball. But honestly, my family, quite literally, will just devour these so quickly that it's not worth my effort or to get my hands dirty again. So the recipe says that it will make, I believe, let's just read it here real quick, 50 to 60 small. So I'm going to guess I'm going to get around 25 or 30. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 4 is 28. We may do 8. We'll throw an 8th one in here. That'd be 32. We'll see if we get that many. Looky there, folks. We just made it. A nice full pan of meatballs. I'll wash my hands real quick and I'll be back. I think the favorite part of these meatballs is actually the sauce. We're going to start out with 2 cups of ketchup. Today we're going to use my home canned ketchup. Because a pint is 2 cups. And that is way easier than trying to squirt the bottle and measure it out. To this, I'm going to add, let's see. Oh, it's 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Well, I don't have that much. I packed that in there pretty tight, didn't I? So this isn't even quite a cup. So what we're going to do, I'm going to grab just under a cup of sugar here. I'm going to squirt some molasses on this. So that's going to make for a dark brown sugar. Half a cup, or a half of a chopped onion. So I have real rough chopped 1 onion in here, just, you know, like quartered it or something. And I'm going to run it through on this. I love this tool. It is so handy because if you want a fine dice, this motion is so much easier than a knife. And look how fine those dices are. On my sauce, I want a really fine dice. So that's when I bring out the big guns. Whoops. Making a mess, making a mess. To the onions, we will add garlic powder. Again, a half of a teaspoon. Ish. And then the secret ingredient, liquid smoke. I know it's not the healthiest thing out there, but really does make the sauce. And we need 2 tablespoons of that. Oh, if you could smell-o-vision. Okay, so I'm gonna work and I'm gonna mix this up really well because I want that sugar kind of dissolved in there. Now, I have a similar barbecue sauce that I made over a year ago. I have a video for the Last Chance Cook-Off where I made a sauce that was inspired by this particular recipe. And now I just want to pour this over all the meatballs. Covering them the best I can. If I have to, I can scoop some sauce out from here where I was a little heavier with my hand. And bring it up. Just make sure, because they'll get a little dry if you don't. Even if you have a higher fat meat, which I don't like to use. I prefer a leaner meat if possible. My butcher is amazing at getting us just kind of a middle of the road ratio. So this is going to go and bake in the oven for, it says about 30 to 40 minutes, but it's probably going to be more like an hour because these are bigger sized, but I don't want them to dry out. So I will put some foil on here. I don't feel like I need to spray it because those meatballs should not touch the foil. And the size of this pan is just perfect to leave a little gap on either side for vent. So this is going to work out great. So I have a couple other things I'm putting in the oven at the same time, because while you're baking one dish, you might as well make a few more. Oh boy. I wish you guys could smell this. And here they are. As we let this cool a little bit, the sauce should thicken up just slightly. So we've given it just a couple minutes. I'm gonna grab a couple of these. Oh, look at that sauce. This is the best part, I'm telling you. Oh, and look at that. Meat got browned a little on the bottom. You guys, thank you so much for coming with me today again in the kitchen. I love having you here, and I love sharing some of my family's favorite recipes with you. If you found value in this content, I ask that you please share this out on social media. That is the best way that you can help me. That, and when you leave me comments, it just really makes my heart sing. I love to hear what you have to say about my recipes and the different content that I share. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you and encourage you to go ahead and push that notification bell, subscribe, and do all the things so that you can be part of the Farmwife fam. Bye for now, friends. Until next time.